Speaking on who had the most disappointing performance going overseas, Willie Monroe or Robert Brant. This is your boy CJ Goodfella back with the Boxing Clinic. Y'all know what it is. And, both went over there and performed like, subpar fighters. You know what I'm saying? Willie Monroe, he did a lot of talking, and he just seemed soft leading up to the fight with Billy Joe Saunders. Let me just say that real quick. It looked mentally fragile, mentally weak, and I know he didn't have it to go over there and take that win from Billy Joe Saunders, even though he had the perfect opportunity to a guy that looked sloppy, that looked out of shape, that just looked lethargic, wasn't in sync, and he still didn't want to be aggressive. He still wanted to move and perform like he just didn't perform well. Robert Brant went over there and he got outboxed. He got outboxed by a 39-year-old man coming down in weight. And, he just never looked to really go for it, for me. The guy he was fighting was very awkward. He looked ill-prepared. And both was disappointing, Both was disappointing for both of these guys to go over there and lose the way they did. Not even giving a real effort and going out on their back, would have been, to me would have been a warrior's code. Neither one of these guys went for it. Robert Brant was real tentative and real touchy about going after Bremer. And Bremer wasn't even a guy that had a big punch. This is a guy who really got outboxed by Nathan Cleverly. I understand that Brant was coming up 8 pounds, but at the end of the day, he didn't try to press the attack at all. He didn't try to rough dude up, Bremer up. He didn't try to change up the game plan. He was in there to survive. And really Monroe, even worse, he had a guy that was calling him a quitter, testing his manhood the whole lead up to the fight, and it bring no fire out of Willie Monroe. He misrepresented Rochester, New York. He misrepresented New York as well. And if he was from a borough in New York, they wouldn't even let him come back to that borough, man. He had to move on out. Because, what he did was, he broke the ultimate code, man. This guy, Billy Joe Saunders, went in on him, saying you quit versus Golovkin, you a punk, everything. And Willie Monroe didn't come in there with no fire. He didn't come in there with no aggressive nature. He just came in there with that soft touch, honey touch, boxing ability, which he's a phenomenal athlete. But he came in there with no aggressiveness to hurt Billy Joe Saunders. He came in there to survive. He came in there not to win. And at the end of the day, man, I believe he had the worst performance. Robert Brant, nobody expect nothing from Robert Brant, really. He's a guy that fought almost all his fights in Minnesota. He was with Derrick James, and that kind of got him cracking. But at the end of got him popping. But at the end of the day, I'm just saying, man, nobody really expected him to do nothing. He came up in weight. When the World Boxing Super Series let this guy in, but didn't let a guy like Andrew Tabiti in the cruiserweight tournament, he was a sacrificial lamb. At the end of the day, that's what it was, man. If he was anything prevalent at 168 or at 168 or at 160, anything that had a killer, that was a real threat, they wouldn't let him in that tournament. They let him in the tournament because they knew that he was a sacrificial lamb. They knew he didn't have a zero chance to upset the apple cart in the tournament, and that's when he put one American fighter in the tournament. At the end of the day, he had no chance. Willie Monroe had people believing in America that he can beat Billy Joe Saunders, and then he comes in and performs like a punk. Let's keep it real. He really did perform like a little punk. And, I don't really care to see Willie Monroe again. He ain't getting better unless he get a new trainer and learn how to be more aggressive. He got a lot of athletic ability. He got a lot of boxing skills, but he don't know how to do certain aspects of boxing. And I don't think he's mentally, wired to be a boxer. He should be a preschool teacher or a kindergarten teacher or something like that. Work with kids with that soft nature he got, and them soft hands he probably got. Robert Brant got a chance to, get back right. They dropped him to 14 in the WBA in the middleweight division, and he got to work his way back up. He should have just waited for his opportunity. He wanted to, not be impatient, and then he lost his ranking, so he got to build himself back up. I think he got a better chance of bouncing back, but I don't think he will neither. He's an afterthought now, just as Willie Monroe is. We gone.